Hello friends, welcome back to Nejmu's History. In the last class, we already completed the last portion of the prehistoric period about the Neolithic settlement. But now we have to learn one new chapter, that is the Harappan civilization. I think you heard about this chapter so many times in your school classes. This civilization was very prominent among the history of India because of this was the first urban culture in India. In that period also this civilization was very advanced and very developed. Uh, we got some informations about these Harappan peoples only with the help of the archaeological excavations. There are no other written records. I told you before about this in the chapter of the sources of ancient India. Then these evidences discovered from these writers, such as the grains, the study conducted in the grains and seeds and some remains of the terracottas and Harappan seeds also. That's why we got a lot of information about this great civilization. Firstly, I'm telling you some things about the sources of Harappan people. Actually, this Harappan civilization was developed gradually. This was not a sudden process. Actually, these peoples was indigenous peoples evolved from the later Stone Age people. I told you before about the Neolithic settlement. In that, peoples also used some agricultural practices and started settled life. Gradually, they already situated lived in the area of the northwestern parts of the Indian subcontinent, the Mehergar. And gradually, they moved to some places of the Indus, the banks of Indus River in the alluvial plains of Indus. These alluvial soils are very useful for the agricultural practices. That's why these people's agriculture was flourished. And after this development, they started some secondary activities such as the trade relationship. This trade relationship, the trade, internal trade and external trade, this also leads to the settlement of the this great urban civilization. And then I think you got something about the sources of Harappan people. Then actually the Harappan civilization was divided into three phases. The first one was the pre-Harappan, then matured Harappan, then post-Harappan. But the matured Harappan civilization was highly developed and very flourished period in the history of Harappas. This Harappan civilization was also known as the Indus Valley civilization because of the early settlement of Harappan peoples was discovered from the banks of Indus River and its tributaries. That's why. Then about I have to tell something about the agricultural practices of these Harappan peoples. These peoples was cultivated some crops like wheat, cotton, and barley, and some cereals and mustard, etc. They also domesticated some animals, cattle, sheep, and goat, and also some evidences of some wild animals also discovered from these sites. The remains of the skeletons of some animals. And then about the agriculture, these peoples was used some wood and fluff for the agricultural practices and also used wool for the agricultural purposes, and also used some artificial irrigation because of this northwestern portion of Indian subcontinent have very low rainfall availability. That's why they used some artificial irrigation. We quote about this from the evidences discovered from some scientists about some water reservoir and the evidences of canals and wells. Then they used some granaries for storing grains. They properly collected some grains as a tax from the farmers and stored in these granaries for future purposes. And then uh, from these all things we have to analyze about the advancement of these great peoples. And then if you have any doubt about this today's classes, definitely you can comment on comment box. I will give the reply. And okay, if you don't subscribe my channel, you can subscribe now and share and support. In the next class I will come with one new topic, and then bye. Okay, bye.